Hello everyone. As you can see my screen, it's a Google Cloud dashboard. Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate to you a project which is related to finding solution using BigQuery ML. Okay. So basically we are going to predict taxi fare with this BigQuery. Okay. In this lab you can find lots of in BigQuery you can find lots of data. Okay, and so you can also find the you can say data which is with the name of I think uh, New York City yellow taxi cab trips. Okay, so you can find it in BigQuery public dataset. However, we are going to do a lab. Okay, so let me tell you one thing how you can do this. You just go to the Google Cloud, okay, cloud.google.com, and find the lab there, okay. And within that lab, if you'll find this taxi fare, predicting taxi fare with the BigQuery ML forecasting model. So in that you can also practice this, okay. However, it will sometimes it takes some credits, like 1 credit, 2 credit, 5, 10, like that, or sometime it comes in a no cost. Okay. So in this lab, we are going to see the use of BigQuery in order to find public data set. So we'll see that how we can find the data set like I just told you, like the New York yellow taxi. Okay. And we'll do the query and explore the public taxi cab dataset. With that, we are also going to create a training and evaluation dataset to use in a batch prediction. Okay. We are going to do some forecasting using linear regression model in this BigQuery ML, and then we'll evaluate the performance of our machine learning model. Okay. So let's start. So how you can do this? You simply need to uh, have a BigQuery. Um, you can say this. Let's come here. BigQuery. So here is QuickLab GCP. Let's see. We have some queries which is empty right now. Not nothing in a shared queries. There is no notebooks. Okay, untitled notebook and all, shared notebooks and all. Okay. We don't have any data canvas, but these are the hierarchy. You can find it. Okay. Let's just what we are going to do is that we are going to simply perform the query, and for this we are using this big query in our cloud console. Okay. We are going to use this here. You can see we have SQL query, Python notebook. Okay. So in this, what we are going to do is that we are going to use this SQL query, which was already open, but I just wanted to demonstrate you. So here, what we can do is that let's find the data. So here in this time stamp, we are going to data pick the data. Okay. Let's run it. Wow. So these are the trips. So in 2015 January, oh my God. So this is the number of trips, which is actually a very huge amount. Okay, it's a very large, you can say, trips. Okay. Now, with this, what we can do is that we can look for some other, like we can start questioning before going ahead to our project. We can make some hypothesis, we can make and adjust some scenario like how to work on this. Okay. So basically what you need to do is that you need to follow the instruction. Like if you are doing this lab, you just need to follow the instruction of lab. But if you are in a like on the real time project, what you need to do is that you need to go back and understand the stakeholders requirement, the objective of the project and the deliverables for which you are going to work on. Okay. Suppose there is a question like from the side of the you can say the project owner, like they wanted to know like what was the average speed of yellow taxi uh, trips in 2015. So what you need to do is that you just need to create a algorithm for that. Okay. So uh, for that you need to create the uh, like apply the time and distance method. Like uh, there is nothing given as here. You can see that nothing as an speed. So we have the month and the trips here. We can explore the other data set as well. So what we can do is that we can pick something like for the pickup time and delivery time and the distance covered. So with that pickup and delivery time, we can get the time slot and we can use with the distance. Okay. And based on that thing, what we can do is that we can create a like speed for the trip, like which covered what kind of strip. Okay. So let me first let me check it and for that then I'll just replace. So I just created this one. So here I just created this average trip distance with the timestamp, drop off time, and the pickup date time. Okay, so with this, let's try to get that. So here you can see that we are now able to get the speed. So the speed was 15.5, 16.3, of course, in a mile, like in a mile per hour. Okay. So because we are managing this with the trip distance. Okay. So the distance is in a mile and the time is in hours. So it's a mile per hour speed. And with this, we can again go and filter the maximum speed. Okay. So for now, you can see like we have this 20.0 and 21.6. So I think the 21.6 is the maximum speed which we have. And based on that, you can go for the other queries like what was the slowest speed. Okay. So you can see like other things. Let's try to uncover something. So it's a 24-hour. Okay. Suppose it's not suppose, just it's a like 12 a.m. at night. So at night we had average speed is like 15.8. Okay. And going ahead like early in the morning, like 5 a.m., it's a 21.6, 4 a.m. like 20. So, and 3 a.m. like 17.5. And again going down like at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Okay. So it's getting dropped at 8 a.m. and like is continuous till the throughout the day. Okay. up to 7 p.m. Okay, so it's basically depending on the traffic. It's also depending on the uh, you can say other things which might be impacting this. Okay, so you just need to go through all the thing and just try to understand what is being asked here. Okay, so we can also try to create some machine learning model in this BigQuery, and that will help us to predict the price of cab, right? Okay, and for that we are going to use this given historical data set for the trip and the trip data. Okay, so why we need this? Like, suppose if you are like you always pick some, like if you are in India, you might be using Uber and Ola. So when you pick some ride, you see that the estimated cost is there. Okay, so that helps you to manage your budget. That helps you to uh, that helps you in order to select which ride is best, which route is best, what will be the time. Okay, so for that we can try to identify some thing suppose if you are on a trip. So in that short trip, you don't need to manage many things, but you are in a long trip. You are just jumping from one city to the another city or jumping one state to another state. So there will be lot of things which will be involved. Lot of features you can find, like there will be some toll amounts. There will be some uh, specific charges like hour per day based on the hour, based on the kilometers, miles, how you are picking your cab, like is it a sedan or a hatchback or what kind of vehicles you are selecting. So based on that, the fare will be varied. So those are the features. So what we need to do is that we are just going to select some features, and now we are going to create our training data set. Okay. So for this, what we need to do is that we will find some useful feature, okay, and put those in a machine learning model, and in that will help us to understand the relationship between you can say the historical data of cab rides and the price of the fare. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do is that we are going to uh, make some you can say uh, days name, like that will help us to identify like which days the demand is high, like from Monday to Saturday. I'm just not decided to use the Sunday. Okay, so we'll use the days of a week. Okay, we'll select some trip, like if there is some toll amount or some fare amount, so that will be counted as a total amount. Because if the company is saying that the toll amount will be on your shoulder, okay, so for that the total amount will be counted as in a tolls, okay, as a total fare. Okay, so with that, it's also essential to get to know like what is the picking hour. It's a daytime, it's a early morning or a late night or a midday or a midnight or a evening. Okay, so for that we will pick some like we'll try to extract the picking hour. Okay, and also that will be based on the hours per day. Okay, and of course everything we are going to get from our data set, which is newer yellow trip data set, which you can get from the BigQuery, and we are right now working on that. Okay, so this time I'm going to apply this. I'll just I'll keep this one and I'll use this new, and this I'll run it. So here you can see something very interesting. Okay. So we have the number of passengers like 313111. Okay. And the drop on at pick up at on hour of a day. So midnight 000. And these are the days of our total fare 3.56. Okay. Um, Sending or sending. Let's keep it as default. Won't do anything with this. So now we have a query result in which we can see that we have a total fare, we have a day of a week, we have hours of a day, pickup time, okay, and drop time, okay, and number of passengers we have, okay. So based on this, what we are going to do is that we can now uh, uh, plan something, okay. So in this, you can see that the main part of the query here are, are at our bottom, that is from taxi trips. Okay. So this includes the bulk of, you can say, extraction of the data, like the entire information which is coming from the, you can say, the data set. And this where clouds help us to remove the data which we are actually not looking for. Okay. So this is how this where is helping us. Okay. It's a Diwali, friends, everywhere. So now we can now create a BigQuery dataset, and this time we are going to create this to store our models. Okay. So in this section, I'm going to create a new BigQuery dataset. Okay, for which we are going to store it in our machine learning model. Okay. Here on the left side, you can see a lot of option we have. This time, hmm, okay, so I was checking with everything is perfect. So now what we are going to do is that we are going to create a new data set, and I'm going to save everything there. So for that, just expand this. Let's click on this three dot, click on this create new data set. So in this, what we are going to do is that we are going to create a new data set. And for that, I'll just create a new data set. Um, let's add it like tax. Okay. And just keep it as simple as like keep everything default. Okay. If you want to choose it for the multiple reasons or for a single reason, which here you can see, okay, multi-reason analysis, let's keep it for the multi-reason. Okay. For this US, now just create it. So here you can see that we have this taxi data set. Okay. So far you can see that it's an empty data, empty table. Okay. Just click here if you can, if you want to see it. Here you can see that the details, here I just created. Okay. Uh, okay. Primary location. And, okay. So just close it for now. What I need to do is that what you actually need to do is that you can just go and check for this. Okay, so what the process which we can follow for that, we can select some BigQuery ML machine learning model. Okay, and we can specify that model. Suppose if you are uh, trying to forecast. Okay, so for that we have something like k-means clustering, or we have some binary or multi-class classification or forecasting. Okay, so because this forecasting is based on the numeric value, and for this we can choose the regression, okay, linear regression model. Okay, and for this I'll pick the linear regression model. Okay, and for this what I'll do is that I'll just run this new query to save in this tab. So let's uh, so here you can see that we just created this taxi fare model. Here you can see the taxi fare model. So this is our model, which will help us to predict the price. Just expand this, and you can see that we are using the model, which is a linear regression model. Okay, and with this, we are going to evaluate our data. So we have this training data. Okay, and here you can find that training data. Okay, so we have the float string. These are the data type. The mode is nullable. Okay. Um, Now just go to this and look for the evaluation data. That will again give you the same thing. Okay. So make sure that the data types which you are using are yeah. So let's see this. Okay. Now what we can do is that we need to evaluate the classification model performance. And for this, we need to select the performance criteria. Okay. So as you can see that we are using this linear regression model here. Okay. So how to evaluate our linear regression model? So for this, we need to have some idea, some sound knowledge. Like suppose if we are using like linear regression model. Okay, and if I want to see the loss metric. Okay, so for that, like suppose a loss metric, which is a root mean square error. Okay. So what I need to do? So I simply need to keep training and improving the model. Okay, until it goes to the lowest root mean square error. So it's a iterable process. Okay, you need to do it, and you need to keep finding the solution until you get the minimum of the RMS. Uh, okay, so for that, in this BigQuery machine learning, the mean square error is again a queryable field. Okay, and based on that, we are always like try to minimize it with the evaluation of our train model. Okay, so for that, what we can use is that we can use our train model. Okay, and we can add the sqrt function to get the rmse. Okay, and also based on that we can like evaluate our machine learning model. Okay, so for that, what I can do is that let's run the query here. Just cancel it. Let's use this. So here you can see that I'm applying this sqrt mean square error as RMSE from ml.evaluate. So we are using dot evaluate. Okay, okay, and the rest of things are uh, as you can see that same. Just we need to evaluate it. Just run it. Okay, so it's a 9.4766. Okay, so here you can see that we just evaluated the model and we are getting this 9.47. So this is a plus minus fair. Okay, like USD 9.47. So this error can be evaluated. Okay, um, make sure that when we are trying, like the metrics are acceptable. Okay, so with this, we just evaluated the model. Now, what we need to do is that what was the basic function of this lab? So the function was like the objective was to predict the taxi fare amount. Okay. So what we can do is that we are now going to change this evaluate to predict. Okay. So initially we just evaluated. Now what I can do is that like so I'm using this predict. Okay, and with the data set which we have. Okay, so we have one model which is taxi fare underscore model. Now we are predicting this. So this is the total fare. Okay, and this is the predicted total fare we have. Okay, okay. So now you saw that the model is now predicting the taxi fare with this actual fares and other features. Okay, like we just defined during the model preparation. Okay, like what is the pickup on and off kind of things here. Okay, good. Okay, so this is always a iterative process. Um, what we need to do is that we need to keep improving. Suppose when we are working on this building this machine learning model. Okay, so if you are not satisfied with your result, you can keep iterate the process. Once you evaluate the performance of like the initial model, and when you think like it's a like best thing, okay, so based on that, you can just create like you can say finalize your model. Okay, so suppose I just want to create uh, okay. So with this, you can see that here we have the high fare, which is like this. So you can consider it as an outlier. Okay, so how to overcome this? So for this, what you can do is that you can simply uh, try to restrict in between some price. So suppose there is a fare in between 6 to 2,200. Okay, so you can check it and run it. So here you can see that the high fare we have is 200 and the low fare which we have is 6 USD. Okay, so this is how you can restrict your model and this is how you can overcome to the outlier. Okay, and you can keep it working on the other things like suppose here you can see that we have this latitude and other details. Okay, latitude and these are so based on this we can also try to do something with our model. Okay, so what I'll do like I'll simply uh, let's create more. I'm not going to open more editor. I'm simply going to use the same one. So here you can see that the pickup longitude and latitude, okay, which is greater than 40, less than 42, greater than 40, less than 42. Okay, so with this again we can fix the high fare. Okay, we can just simply eliminate the outliers in our data set and in within our results. Okay, we can um, now create a new model. Suppose this model was this model one was having some issues. So now what I'm going to do is that I'll create other model and name it model 2. So here I have this model 2. You can see that here. Okay, let's run it. So in okay. So in this model, you can see that everything which we just like the first model was a basic model, and this model two is an improved model, which is like now dealing with the outliers, is now restricting the fair price in between 6 to 200. It's restricting the latitude and longitude in between the given integers, given value. Okay, so this model will look better than the previous one. Okay, and after creating the model, we'll again evaluate the model and check like check and compare with the previous model. So you already have the score of the model one, which was I think around 9.47, and we'll see this model will when we'll evaluate this model. Okay, so it's a running. So meanwhile, I'll just go and okay. So we successfully created this model. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll just create a evaluation here. So I'll just use this evaluate model to okay and check like the score. I think it will be around 6 or 5.5 or 6. So we have the model which is like 5.12. So now you can compare the score of both model. One was initially like um, it was 9.47. Okay, it was 9.47. Okay, and now this is 5.12. Okay, so with this, you can say like it's a model is working like in a better way. So you can simply say that the model 2 is significantly better than the model 1. Okay, and with this root mean square error, with that we just tried and find the standard deviation of some prediction errors with this. Okay, so this is all about this lab. I hope it will help you. And thank you for sticking here. And yeah, thank you all that I reached to the subscriber number 100 in these 3 years. Yeah, thank you very much.